Okay, so this first ki, I said to myself, I want it to be different from this stuff. And at the time, I had mapped like 3 maps in a row or something crazy. That was it. It was just like slightly curved everywhere, just these sliders everywhere. So I was like, I want to map something different. This is a lot different. It's a different genre from what I usually map, and it's not jazz. It's progressive rock. So it should be different, right? This you wouldn't hear this in jazz. So I wanted to use mainly straight sliders. No slightly curved. And the thing is, um, the sliders you use, especially like such like simple stuff like this is everywhere. Um, that really impacts how you structure things, and I think that really worked out well for this map or for this section anyway. The rest of it has like yeah, it's good for contrast though. I don't know why I put this here. I was thinking of this one map. This is supposed to be a red anchor, by the way. Nice. Good job, me. I was thinking of this one map by Pishy Fat. Find it. I know he did these kinds of sliders in the end. I was just imagining them in my head. I didn't actually go and look, which is why it's the wrong slider. But I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I could do something like that. It sounds a little bit similar. So I ended up doing that. This is just boring. It's really simple. Okay. This spacing here, I did this because there was a BN mod that told me, okay, this is way too late, or this is way too early. It's like this, and apparently it's way too early. So I had to move it back. Or it was something with this measure. This measure was too early. So I had to move the whole thing back. This ended up creating a weird gap here, so I wanted to make sure there were no problems with this. So I did an abrupt stop. Blade's going to stop here. They're going to click this here. And because of the stop, they're going to snap to this, and it's just not going to be a problem. Whereas if it were here, they'd probably accelerate. It'd probably accelerate faster to 2 because they're already moving. But here, they got to accelerate from rest, which means there's going to be like less problems with that. You can tell for a lot of this ki, a lot of my object management is like here, 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 and then up and down. I would go here. I'd tell myself, because I planned out a lot of this object, like playfield management here, I would say, okay, I want something over here, and I want something over here, and over here. Or I would say, I want something up and down the playfield in the center. And you're going to see that a lot. So you can see the straight sliders. This is apparently a slightly curved slider, but it's basically it's basically a straight slider. Like, there's nothing here. I think I got this from the random otaku map. The one by, I'll find it. Random otaku rail. This one. I saw this, and I just thought it was the funniest thing ever. I saw this slider. It was pretty much, there's no way it could be interpreted as anything other than a curve. I know it's in here somewhere. Yeah, this. I was like, I thought this was the funniest thing ever. The funny thing is, now that I look at this, and I'm like, yeah, it's a curve. But at the time, I just could not see this as anything other than a straight slider. So I was like, haha, that's funny. And then I just started using it. So that happened. And you can kind of see it. But the structuring would be basically the same, which is the important part of changing what sliders you use. The structuring is going to be the same as a straight slider, so it's just still going to be different. You can see this over here, and now it's going to go over here. Because, okay, this is just to represent pitch. This was inspired from this one slider in Jack the Ripper. where it was like, where is it? It's the guitar one. Yeah, somewhere in here. This. I was like, hey, Panda did this, so I'm gonna try and do something similar. I didn't look at it. Usually I don't look at maps to get inspiration for concepts. I just kind of think of them in my head and then see what happens. And this is what came out. This is what came out on the map, and I think that's kind of cool. So yeah, play field management here, 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 and then up. And now it's gonna go down again because I wanted to represent the descending pitch here. What I did, I listened ahead a bit. I heard this descending pitch, and I was like, I want to go down, so I got to go up first. So it's just here, 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 here. It goes down. This one just, I don't know why this goes down. It could have just been this. But, oh well, you know? The important part is guitar's getting louder. It's just more spacing, basic stuff. I got this from Amateur. I saw this in a Twitter preview. I was like, wow, that's cool. And then I stole it. I think it's pretty good. If you mute hit sounds here, because it kind of makes it hard to hear. These are closed, and this one's open. And this is something I do a lot. Any two sliders that are next to each other, or any two objects that are next to each other, they're going to be contrasted in every way. So, really simple here. This is horizontal, and this is vertical. Because these are closed, and this is open. So that's just something small I did. That's something I do a lot, though. Alright, this slider, I always really like this slider ever since I made, like, this map. This slider just says guitar to me, so I used to use it all the time. Do stuff like this. I was like, why not use it here? I use it in What About Me too for the guitar solo. I make this structure, and it's got equidistance here. And I'm like, okay, there's a lot of phrases like this. So I just go, okay, this slider again, equidistance again. There's no slider here, but it is equidistance. If it was normal in the normal map, it would be like here. And then somewhere over here. But because it's in this phrasing, I just have it be equidistance. This is literally just flipped. Flip positioning. And you can definitely see that playfield management. I just have one over here, one over here, one over here, one over here. This I'm pretty sure I got from that one pattern in Jack the Ripper, where it's like this. I don't want to show it. I've showed like 5 things already. Subtle spacing changes. Slider velocity as well. Use that playfield management again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then down. So you can really see how these are the main ways I do the playfield management in this section. Now this stream's made out of circles because I'm uncreative. So I thought I did think it'd be kind of cool because this is just the same 3 notes repeated over and over again. If I didn't have a new combo, like the traditional chose to be this. But I was like, no, high numbers are funny, so. Rotation. I stole this from Moff. What's the one B map with like the girl with glasses and the Sega shirt? That one. I saw it from that. I thought it was kind of cool here. This is like one of the best overlaps I've ever done. Check this out. Right here. Right here. Right here. It's perfect. It's so good. And of course, like, this overlaps. This overlaps here. Which I think is cool. But this, I'm so proud of this. Like, these aren't fake lines either. These are, if you just draw, you can get consistent. I gotta buy this? Are you kidding me? What is this? Available? I gotta... Dude, they took lines from me. Anyway. If you draw a line just from the center of the circle, right to the extremity, it actually lines up. It's great. So these are real like spacing. This slider, I just came up with it. I think it's cool. One interesting thing about this is that every like every, hold on, 1 2 3 1 2 3, yeah, okay, every measure there's this like bass sound, and I chose to represent it with this like divot here. So I went back because that bass sound's also on this note, so I went back and I added the divot into this slider, so it's kind of a consistency here. This is really funny. I saw this, I forget where I saw this. I just saw this on Twitter, I guess. And I thought it was cool. So, this is so dumb. Yeah, this is hilarious. I think this is so funny because you mouse over it. You're not expecting it, and you mouse over it, and it's just like nodes going everywhere. Yeah, I've joked about how level 3 mapping iceberg, wave sliders, and offset straight sliders are the same exact thing. It's just different nodes, node placement. Like these kind of waves with these nodes. I think this is a good emphasis. Something I'll do a lot is I'll gradually increase spacing. It's like here, 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 here. And this isn't increasing spacing because it's getting louder. It's just building tension into this note here. And if you think of mapping, or if you think of movement as a tension and release system, usually big sliders are the release, and then increasing spacing is the tension. It's terrible. Tension and release. This increasing movement here is tension. So you'll see me doing that a lot here. Like here. Big slider, release, and then I like this movement too. And then this increasing spacing here. Just the tension. Something that helps a lot is circular flow as well. I got this idea from this map. I was looking at random maps. I was like, okay, where is it? This part. I thought this right here, this pattern, I found this really, really impactful even without hit sounds. I just really like this. So it goes like this. It's got the sharp angles plus circular flow. And I thought about this. I'm like, why does this feel so good to execute? And why is there so much impact on this? So I came to the conclusion, if you increase spacing, this isn't even an increase. If you just have a bunch of sharp angles and circular flow into a gap, into a circle or a long slider, because that's basically the same as having a circle and a gap, It's a really big impact. So I use that here. Or I try and use that here. I don't even know if it's right. It could be wrong. I could just be wrong about everything, but I don't know. Yeah, this movement's cool. I like it. It's like you gotta hook around here. Same here. Okay, for this pattern, I heard this in the music. I was like, I want to travel from up here to down here. That was my idea. I want to travel from up here to down here. So I think I did that because I start on like way up here and I end right here, far bottom left. Because it was winding down from the chorus. Here's that concept again, and the funny slider. I love this slider so much. This is cool. I like this pattern a lot. Just the movement here. Just like this hooking motion is really fun. And of course you're, again, increasing spacing into long slider. Okay, this is the first time the vocals have come in since the start. So this is a really important moment. So I said, okay, how do I make this interesting? And if you were wondering what an object connection is, I think this is a really good way. This is like the most basic form. I repeated the shape, and then I just use it in a different way. So they're connected by being the same shape. I use that to separate phrases here. And there is some admittedly like really cheesy representational sliders. They're not good at all. But it's just, this is ancient woodland, so it's supposed to be like trees. I don't know. This is so dumb. He says among the sky and trees. So I have one down here for the trees and one up here for the sky. It's so dumb. It's actually so stupid. But at least I thought about it, I guess. And then there's, I just kind of forgot about the representational thing. Oh wait, no. Searching inwards. I don't know why. I just chose this. I heard inwards. I was like, okay, I want this kind of thing. I guess because this angle is like in, I don't know. This just says inwards to me. He says nothing's like it seems, so I have this wave slider, and then it kind of transforms into this. This is so dumb. Why did I do this? I guess I thought about it, so it's better. It's really dumb, though. All of them are really dumb. Maybe you can say it's better. I mean, it really doesn't contribute anything. They're all so stupid. It's not like they're slider art or anything. This one's decent. This one's decent, I will say. He says dancing stream, so it's like it's a wave for the stream shape. This is boring. There's nothing interesting here. Okay. This part, I don't think I was very successful here, but I played this map by Czar. Can I search like this? No. Oh, here it is. I played this map, and this has like really, really low, something I call spacing velocity ratio, which means basically the slider velocity is really high, but the spacing is really low, and this leads to movement that feels really soft, at least to me. Basically, the reasoning for that is your cursor, let's say you're exiting a slider, right? If this SV is lower and this spacing is higher, right? If this SV is lower and the spacing is higher, then you're going to have to, first of all, you're going to be on the slider for longer because you would be more in danger of dropping a slider end if you were to accelerate earlier, which means that you're like stuck here. You're stuck here for a while compared to like this. Let's say they're both 1/2. And second of all, because this is slow, basically how your cursor acts is, assuming you start from rest because you snap here, you accelerate to the SV of the slider. Try and draw some dots in here. You accelerate to the SV of the slider, and then you leave the slider end early. You start accelerating to the circle, and then you slow down. So if this is slower, you're going to have to accelerate more to get to this circle because of how snapping works. So that's what I figured out about that. This part doesn't count, it's circles. But that's something I saw about this map, and I thought it was really interesting. It probably wasn't intentional. He probably just wanted more opportunities for structure, or maybe it was. I'm not sure. You'd have to ask him on that. But I tried to do something like that here. You can see here, this is like 1.11x, while the earlier part is a lot higher. Like 3, generally 3. A lot of my maps are around 3.5. 3.5. This, I just use that as the value, so it'd be like 3.5 SVR. Please start saying SVR to people. I want to confuse as many people as possible. I think that'd be really funny. Just like, hey, new mod for your map, your SVR for the section is too low. You should change it. And they start Googling around like, what is SVR? Okay. It wasn't as successful with these big jumps here, but I think it's really successful with like this section here. This is kind of cool. Okay, so I'm trying to draw it in. I just did repeated placements because I don't know. I just wanted to flex. I just thought it'd be funny. But I did get like a praise on the modding V2 from BN, from one of the BNs for the set. He's like, this is sick. So, oh, I moved it. Did I? Wait, no, I didn't. Yeah, okay. So here's where the lower SVR, I think, kind of shows up. Like this. This is 0.91 SVR, so that's really, I think that's really good. I think that's, I mean, I don't know what the adjective, it's soft. This too is like 1.34, which is really low for me anyway. So I think that's pretty good. Just simple stuff, repeated placement, yeah. You already know this. Or maybe you don't, I don't know. Here it is again, what is this one? 0.85, that one's really low. So you're moving to this and you're actually accelerating to get on the slider. You're not even like slowing down. It's just really soft movement. Angle. I thought I was kind of cool for having this be a triangle. This is really interesting because you see new mappers, they'll learn about geometry and they'll do stuff like, this is 3 sounds. It's gonna be a big triangle, and they don't know how to handle it. They just don't know how to handle the structuring around it, so that it'll just break the whole thing. But they won't now because they're new. So it just breaks the whole structure, and then you just have like higher level, like rankable maps, and you're like, wow, I could fit in a triangle here and not mess up my structure. I even have this here. This is cool. I like this. It's mirrored here. There's a lot of like mirrored placements. That's something you'll see me do a lot. So like this and this. I just combine phrases like this. I can try to do it on the fly. This. I can't do it. It's too fast. I can do it like 50% speed. And this is just the exact same pattern, but I copy pasted it. It's the exact same thing. Okay, so there's like this shaker that comes in here. So it's important for like, here's what I think. This is, I don't know if this is like a hot mapping take, but this is important for one measure. And then it just turns into background noise and you don't care anymore. The melody becomes more important again. Because just imagine if this was just streams all the way through. It would be so boring. But I know some mappers would do that. So I chose not to. I chose to just go back to the melody. I think this pattern is kind of cool. Because like this kind of leads into this. This kind of leads in this. And this is like angle with that. I don't know. I just think that one's kind of cool. I guess it'd be better if it was like this, but I don't know. This is parallel with this though. Here's the mirrored placements again. Mirrored placement with, this is like reversed. So that's kind of interesting. It's like these two and then this. It's just flipped. Initially, I like having these kinds of alternating like shapes here. I had it in this one map that I never finished. And it's kind of cool. I gotta find where it was though. I saw this and I was like, this is so cool. This is such good structuring. Here. I guess I could use something down here, so it'd be like here. I made this a while ago. But it had this sort of alternating movement here. Alternating movement here. So I thought that was interesting. And I was like, okay, let's do it here. I ended up doing it a lot. So I could have easily just done this, this, this. I ended up doing another triangle though. Ends up forming this shape. Here's an interesting case, because you've seen in this beat map, this was the playfield usage. But this is one of the cases where it actually goes this way. It goes horizontally. That's interesting. Mirror placements. Okay, this is kind of cool. I heard this, I scrolled ahead, I heard this, and rise again by break of dawn. So I wanted it to go up. I wanted it to rise. Yeah. It's kind of stupid, but you know, whatever. It's not as stupid as some of the other things I didn't like this section though. Okay, these were originally, these sounds, they were originally like these slightly curved sliders, and I was like, that's so lame. I'm not doing that. Because everything else has had slightly curved sliders, and I wanted this part to feel special, because it's like, it's sort of the climax of the whole song. You could say this is the climax, but yeah. This is pretty simple. I like to do this overlap where it's like one half and this points in. This isn't usually how I do it though. I usually do it like, oops, like this, where it points into the slider. That's why this kind of looks weird, I think anyway. It's just, yeah. Okay, this pattern I stole. Well, okay, stole is a strong word. All right, I thought of last minute. I thought of last minute. I thought of these. Where are they? I think they're in this section. Yeah. I thought of these. I also thought of YF Was it this map? I think yeah, I think it was this map. Where are these? These. I thought of these two together. This had like the 180, and this had the slider. So I used this slider because it's the guitar slider, and I'm addicted to it. And then it's just 3 sounds. So I was like, okay, 1, 2, 3. That's kind of a cool pattern. Okay, this is a regret of mine. This slider is so bad. I've seen so many people drop this. It's supposed to build tension in this, but it doesn't even, like, it's so far away. Why would I think this is a good idea? Cool. Anyway. Yeah, 6 SVR. Nice. This might be worse though. No, it's 3.3, it's fine. Yeah, 6 SVR facing away too. I started breaking out the Beziers. I thought it'd be cool. And it is pretty cool. This one I saw on Twitter. Someone was like, I saw a mod post where someone complained that the slider was ugly. And then, yeah, I forget the rest of it, but I thought it would be funny to put it in here. And also it fits the sound pretty well. This is just map, more map. This is kind of a bad slider just because of how close these two are to being parallel. And you want to avoid parallels in the style of mapping. This is kind of cool. It goes over the same path, but it's slower. You can see this concept coming back from earlier, where it's the horizontal for the closed hi-hats and the vertical for the open. This is just it's these chords again and this instrumentation, but now it's the flute solo or whatever that instrument is. I don't know. It's not a flute. I think it's just a synth. It sounds like a flute. But this is just normal stuff. There's some kind of cool stuff in here, like this, the angle here. I do this a lot, where I like continue angles throughout a pattern. Here's that overlap. Is a pattern continuation right here. Here it is again, because it's the same thing. It's just this, and then it goes the other way. So it's slightly different. Nice. This angle here. Same thing. Again. Here's this back and forth movement again. Sort of. It goes back and forth here. I guess the more natural choice would be this. But I like this. This is not bad at all. Just because if you were to do that, you would sacrifice the balance you get from having these two big elements here. Well, no, this is the biggest element, I guess, because it's the most spread out, and then you have these elements here that are tied into this. This is the focal element, and then these are attached to it through equidistance. Here's the angle continuation. This is a parallel. I guess I should have put it somewhere here. This should have totally been like this, by the way. Or should it? I don't know. The player's gonna stop on it either way, because of how held sliders work. I also kind of, when I was making this, I kind of wanted to have this be on the sun. So when you click on it and you finish the map, it's like, you kind of, you just, I don't know how to describe it, but it's cool. Yeah. But I was like down here and I just could not get over here. So I just gave up. I was like, just put it at the bottom of the playfield. I guess this outro is kind of cool. These overlap. These overlap too. Yeah, even at the end of the map, I still do this playfield. I don't think it's earlier. Oh no, it totally is. It totally is. Yeah, down here, yep, and then it goes up. Alright. That's the map, though. That's it.